So welcome to the webinar today. This topic, we're going to be covering the managing of the rooms in Revit and dealing with certain things of leveraging a few of the tools to help with this process. Currently in Revit, managing your rooms and the data and the details on them is very time consuming, especially dealing with some of their numbering and managing the settings and applying those and updating. So it could take some time to go through that. But with the CTC tools, we do have a few tools that can really help with this procedure. One of the things I'll start off with here is the ability to leverage the renumbering tool in the regards of renumbering your rooms. Just to start here, we go into the CTC tools, free tools, renumbering. And this tool allows you to kind of go through and renumber the rooms in the order you want, put suffixes and prefixes in there. So we have all the different things in here too, but right here for rooms, we can start off and say, I want to start with the renumbering, and I'm going to say that this is going to start with 501. I did 5 because I already did 100. And then I can also have this option here of auto swap. So actually, I'll show that here. I'll do 101, and then I'll do auto swap. And what that will do is then it will take the room that I picked first, and it will automatically match the room here. So I'm going to say renumber, and I'm going to pick this room first, and then that will be 101. And then this one over here will say 100. Then I can come through and change these. So I'm going to say this one's now going to be the next one, 103. I must have accidentally clicked another room and it did that one, 102. Oh, there it was. Yeah, the common one. That's fine, 102, 103. And then let's do 104 over here and 105. So as I go, I just keep going through and checking those boxes, and allows me to renumber the rooms fairly quickly. And then again, I can put prefixes and suffixes in there, and I could also do separator. So -A or something like that. If I want to do, this side is 101A and the other side is 101B, I could do that. So I'm going to say that this is going to be 101A, 101B, 101.3, or 101C. Now I could also here do the change the sequences. So keep this consistent. So let me go back to here, and I'm going to say 101A, and then I'm going to click this one, 102A, 102 or 3A, and so on. So I can keep doing that with this to just constantly change the value so that it goes up in numbering. And then if I wanted to go now B to start the other side of it, do a similar thing. So 101B and so on. So it makes it really quick and fast to renumber your rooms in the order that you choose. One of the next tools that you can really benefit from of updating your rooms fairly quickly is the data of the rooms. So if I come in here and I select a room and I want to modify a data here, I have to come in here and pick this, and then I start modifying these values. But if I want multiple rooms that have similar values, if I try to select all these here, if I can find the X here. So let me select these two and select this. So I can select multiple rooms in here and change the values, or I can go into the room schedule and select a few, and then go to the highlight in model, and then come over here and change the values. So it does take a little bit of time. I can do multiple scenarios there. It just takes a little bit extra scenarios. But with Spreadsheet Link, this one gives you the flexibility of editing more in a room environment or a spreadsheet environment. So I'm going to grab the rooms category, and then I'm going to grab the parameters like the room name, room number. And let's grab those wall finishes. So I'm going to do the west wall, and then let's do south wall, north wall, and east wall, and floor finish. And then I have the spreadsheet environment here where I can simply come in and say, okay, this one's going to be PT-1. This one's going to be PT-1. And then if I want, I can copy paste. I can also copy and paste down, or I can do the drag feature where I can grab this and just pull it down. So let's say all those are PT1. I can grab all this and say those are all PT1. But I can also come over here. Now this one's going to be PT2. Let's grab that and pull it down. Now here it did the numbering sequence where it does that. So what I typically have to do in those scenarios, because this thing doesn't have those, so I have to select 2 of those and then pull down, and it will then copy that over. Same thing there, it's just doing that. So let me copy that, and then let's pull down, and it gets that. Then once I have my data entered, I simply say apply active worksheet. Yes. And now I have updated 31 rooms here. So now if I come over into my schedule, let me pull my schedule back up, I can see all these parameters have been updated for those rooms. Now the other benefit with the Spreadsheet Link version of this for doing it is also that numbering. I was using Renumber tool to renumber, but Spreadsheet Link is also very nice for this because you can use the Excel feature that, let's say, okay, I want to grab this one, and I'm going to make that one 101, this one 102. Now, if I grab these and pull it down, it's going to do the 103, 104 type of scenario where I can just have that go that way. And apply. So again, I just renumbered 54 rooms fairly quickly. Now, the downside of that is I don't know what direction they go in. So numbering them this way may throw off your numbering sequences in the view because it's all based on the order placed that it takes the number. But if your numbers were a certain direction, you can sort by the numbering feature within Spreadsheet Link to do that. All right, one other huge benefit is even if you are not working in Revit, you can leverage if someone is working in Revit, you have someone in there, but then you have maybe another department that is not working in Revit, you can utilize Spreadsheet Link in the regards of you can send this Excel file to them, and then they can update the Excel file and you can apply it back into Revit. So I simply get the tool, get the parameters the way I want, and then I save this Excel file. And I'm gonna save it to my desktop now. Do I wanna open it? Yes. Then I can come in here and see all the values, and I can use the Excel functionalities of being able to, again, copy, paste. I can do the drag feature. So let's go ahead and update every single one of these rooms for now, just for giving it the finish there. So again, simple, easy in here. So I'm gonna copy paste this up here to this meeting room up here. I'm gonna do those as PT2. So someone could be working in Excel and doing this formatting here. Now, one thing that they may want to do if they need to is they can filter this and sort it. However, you don't want to filter by the top. You want to grab the third row and then filter by that. So I'm going to come in here and, oh, it's password protected. So I got to go into here and do unprotect sheet. And I got to put in the password, which the default password is password. So now I can do that, and I'm going to filter. So now I can come in here and say, I want to do this as largest to smallest. So I'm going to Z to A. And you can see here now sorted off to where those are at the top there. All right, and then I'm going to sort that back to 1 here, or I can come over here and say I want to sort that A to Z. So I get all the ones here that don't have names in here, and it's alphabetical. So break room, common, and so on. So I see here, this one is not capitalized, so I could come in here. Let's change that as well. So entry. And then I simply save this file. And then when I send it back over to the person who has a copy of the tool, they can simply just open that Excel file. They can preview all the changes that were done in it, and then just simply apply it back to Revit. And now I have updated 102 rooms. Now, if I close out, look back into my room schedule here, I see every single one of those rooms now has a paint finish. So again, leveraging the spreadsheet environment in that regard, even if you don't have the Revit, you can still send it to someone. One more feature with this particular tool that is very beneficial as well in regards of rooms is if you wanted to do like calculations of things like the area of it. So I'm going to do name, number, occupancy, and occupancy load, and then area. I'm going to move that one up to here. And I'm just going to come in here and put in some random values for now. Let's just do 10 for all of these just to give that thing. And then I'm going to give this one a formula. So right here, there's calculate, and I'm going to turn that on. And what that does is now I can come over into the spreadsheet environment, and then I could say something like equals this divided by this, hit enter, and I get a value. Now, it came out null. That's actually because of the SF here. So you have to come back over here and say hide unit symbols. And now that takes away that value. Now, when I did that, it did clear my editing here. So I'm going to put these numbers back. And then I'm going to say this equal that divided by that, and then I get this value. Now, what I could do is right now it's giving me a value here, so it won't let me get a clear number, but I can do the formulas like round up or round divided by 1. All right, my formula is not working here. All right, I am not thinking of the value, but again, I can round this up if I do want it to be a whole value instead of it being like a portion of a value here. Just my formula reminding of what that used to be, or that formula tag there. But it was either round up or something along those lines. But again, you start off with equals and then you give it the value. And then I can apply it back to Revit to give it that new parameter there. Now, when I'm doing this though, and I apply it back, that doesn't apply the formula to Revit. So this is not in the cell. So if I go and update the square footage or the numbers, it doesn't update. But what you can do is over in this spreadsheet settings is I can save this to a file, and I'm going to call this room area calc. And when I do that, it's going to keep all this settings exactly as it is. So right now, this particular room for open office is 96.7. So if I close that out and I look back at this room 101 right here, this one is a 96.7 right there. Now, if I come in here and I start modifying it to, let's say I'm going to come in and put room separation lines right here so that the room stops right there. So now that number is incorrect because now the square footage is different. But if I come up into Spreadsheet Link, I can then reload those settings. So load settings from file, And the tool's then going to pick the category, pick the parameters, and apply it. And that invalid is because of these down here that don't have that. But it automatically put in those values there. So it's going to update it. Now, it may not have done it because, again, my invalid below. So, but here I did the formula below, and I should have just done these all with values so that it didn't get that error message. So I could put a formula in there that if this particular field equals null or 0, don't do anything, just ignore it. So let me save those settings again. And now I'm going to apply that back to Revit, so I'd update that particular room, and it will then make that change for me. So now if I select this one, now it has a new value. So again, Spreadsheet Link is a very powerful tool for managing the rooms. It allows you to update the parameters, updates the fields where you want them, and you can renumber and do all the Excel formulas and send the Excel file to anyone else that doesn't even have Revit. They can just open the Excel file and do the processing there. Oh, actually, one more thing with Spreadsheet Link is you can actually create rooms in Spreadsheet Link. If I go down to the rooms category, and I'm going to grab the parameters for name and number, and I can come up here and actually say create, and then I can say create rooms. Then I can tell it how many rooms, and I can tell it what phase they're available in. Now, this doesn't create and place them. It just simply creates them as unplaced, and then when you go to hit the drop down when you're going to place them, you will be able to see them in that list. Now, if I just do one for now, it's going to put this column over here for this, and then I can now give it a name and a number. So if I was to create that, it would create a brand new unplaced room in there, and then I could go back through and place it in there. Now, one other thing with this being able to create rooms is you can save out this Excel file. And if I need to then, do some things like I gotta unpassword protect this. And I'm gonna do a scenario where I'm just gonna take every single room in here and delete it. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna say new. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull that all the way down. I'm going to then say this is going to be offices. And let's do 501, 502 type of thing. So I'm going to save. Then when I come back into Spreadsheet Link, I'm going to open that Excel file. And then I'm going to just simply say apply. And it's going to ask me what phase. And I'm going to check this so it applies it to all of them. And then I'm going to say create. And now 26 rooms are created. Now, if I go back into my project and let's go to place a room. Oh, wow, fatal error. Okay, apologize for that one. The joys of webinars and crashing. I have an idea what that is, and that's in the works. Not from CTC, that's a Revit thing in general. There is a add-in that I have that I need to disable, and it should fix that. So the next one I wanted to discuss is Room Family Manager. And Room Family Manager is a tool that allows you to create a kind of a schedule of what is in those rooms that need to be there. So if it's going to be a type of office area that needs to have certain equipment in it or certain families in it, or hospitals, or apartment complexes or senior living that require certain characteristics to be in every single room, you can set up the settings to allow you to configure it. So I'm going to go into room data sheets. And here I can pick a space that has the furniture I want in it already. So let me go to a room that has some furniture. Oh, this project doesn't have some, so let me place some here. So I'm going to say this office over here is going to have 2 desks in it. And I need other offices like that to have those 2 desks. And let's also put in some, oh, those are countertops, but that works. Let's put in a chair. Let's actually swap those to be the desks here. Oh, I can't because they're of the casework category. So let's put the desks in there instead of the table. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to pick my room and finish. Oh, room family manager. I'm in the wrong tool here. Room data sheets allows me to pick a room and then create views based off of it. So let's go with this one. Again, apologize, opening the wrong tool. And then I come down here and I'm going to add a row, and I'm going to say a floor plan, and I'm going to add a reflected ceiling plan and elevation and a schedule. And then I get to pick what type of element I want. I'm going to go off this architecture or this room schedule as the template. Here's the naming convention. And let's grab the view templates here for architectural elevation, ceiling plans. Let's grab a ceiling plan. Oops. And then floor plans, we'll grab that as the furniture plan. And then I'm going to hit refresh, and it's going to then show what the sheet will look like. And I get to choose what title block to use and the spacing of all this. Now I didn't set all the scales, but they are in there. And then I'm going to simply hit create sheets. And then the tool is going to run through and create all the sheets and views for those things. So let's close out of there, and then should be now that sheet right there. So open it up. There's the schedule. Now if I go down to sheets, it should be right there. There's the sheet, and there's all the rooms and the views that it created for those sheets. So I can pick multiple rooms, multiple scenarios there, and create all of those views and sheets for that particular room. And it names the sheet based on that room. So here it gives me the number and the name. Now let's actually go back into the other one I want to get in before, which is room family manager. And this one allows me to, I'm going to add a parameter. Oh, actually I already have those parameters in there. But you can add a parameter and then it'll give it a name, or otherwise you could select one. This project already has the 2 parameters that I created there. And then I could build my room types. Oh, yep, sure, save the project. I'm going to build my room types based on a room that's in my project. So I'm going to say create new room. Got to pick that, then create new room. And I'm going to give this a conference name. And then I could pick another room and have it be an office. I can pick multiple ones and be able to set those up. Then you can do assign rooms, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab the conference rooms, and then they're going to be a conference. See if I have any more down here. Yep, there's another conference room. Then once I pick all my rooms and I set them to a room type based over here, now I can go to the place families and validate and say, validate rooms. The tool's going to run through and it's going to say, hey, I found that in this particular room, it's missing these families. Now, if I go down to one of the other conference rooms, maybe that is not a conference room that I picked. What is this one called? That is a conference. So I must have missed one, but it would have said passed if I would have picked that room. So I must have missed that one when I was picking it to verify the room here. So let's see if I have, there it is. So let's do all of those. Yep, I missed the one conference room there. So now let's do it again. I'm going to say validate rooms. And this one passed because it does have all the furniture in it. Whereas the other ones don't, it's missing things. So now I'm going to say place families, and then the tool's going to go through and it's going to place the families in that room, and then it's going to validate it again, and now it's going to say it passed, because now every single one of those conference rooms has the furniture in it. So now this one over here has those in there. Now currently the tool does not go off, can't go off the coordinates, but so it kind of places everything in one location, but you can come back and move those to where your desired location is. Now, the other one was if I'm going to delete these in this particular room. I'm going to validate it again so that it fails. And the benefit of this is when you do validate the room and then it fails, you can also save the report so that you can give it to someone and say, hey, can you go through and make sure these families are back in there. But you could also say place families and then still send them the report of what it failed, and then tell them that I placed the families, please go back in there and put them where they need to go. Then whoever it is can come in here and modify those elements to where they need to go. And then under the swap families and begin, this one allows you, or swap families, gives you the ability to say, hey, I don't want to take this particular family anymore. I want to pick this one. So maybe that rectangular, oh, that's a mullion. I don't want to do that one. Oh, that leads me into another topic, but I'm going to get it through to the desk here first. I want to say that desk is supposed to be the student desk, or it's supposed to be the other desk in here. I can do that, and I could say swap room families, and then it's going to take that room, that family in that room, and it's going to swap it to be the other one. So if I say swap families, now over here in this room, it now has the smaller desk instead of the bigger desk. Now back on this one where it picked up the door and the mullion, under the options, this is where you can choose to ignore what certain categories. So if I come through here, currently it was told to ignore or display casework. It was also told to do equipment, and it was also told to ignore certain things. So I would have to come in here and make sure I uncheck things that I don't want it to do. Now, this tool again is designed to just help manage those content in a given location, given room, so that you make sure that all rooms of this type have the correct number of families in them. And if you need to remove the extra families, so remove unspecified family instance, if there was more than there should have been in there that's exceed family instances. So if there was 3 chairs in there instead of 2, it would remove one of them and keep the other 2. Remove unspecified families would be if there was more families in there that were not listed in here, it would delete those. If you leave it unchecked, it will keep them in there. And you can, again, build out this list of all the rooms, and you can save these out to Excel and then create your room types inside an Excel spreadsheet environment instead of within Revit. But again, over here, if you're doing a particular family name, you need to have it spelled out correctly. Otherwise, you can come in here and just put in placeholder scenarios as well with a length, width, and height, and it will just come in and place a box in there that represents that particular element. All right. Now I know I went through the room data sheets a little fast here, so I'm going to come back in here and just glance at a few things more again. Are there any questions that anyone's coming up with on the 4 tools that we've covered so far? There is the question answer panel on the Zoom. Otherwise, there is a chat window as well, which I can answer any questions I see in there. All right, I'm not seeing any questions coming in. All right, again, I do apologize for the delay on the start here. Is there any other final questions, thoughts that you have? Again, these tools are very powerful for updating any information, but the 2 particular tools of Room Data Sheet and Room Family Manager, very helpful for managing the settings of the rooms and creating all those sheets. Again, Room Data Sheets, I can create all the sheets and rooms, views for those rooms when just in a few minutes instead of it taking me forever to create all those links and all that. All right, thanks everyone for joining, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.